My name is Eleanor Mae Whitfield. I turned 100 years old this past April. I live alone in the same house I've lived in for 53 years, in a small town in rural Tennessee. I do my own laundry, I cook my own meals, I walk to the mailbox every single morning, and I sit on my porch in the evenings and watch the fireflies come out when the season is right. I do not live in a nursing home. I have never needed one. My children, I have 4 of them, all in their 70s now. They call me every week and ask if I need anything, and every week I tell them the same thing. Baby, I am just fine. I want to talk to you today because I think you deserve to hear the truth from someone who has actually lived it. Not from a television commercial, not from a doctor trying to sell you a pill, not from a wellness influencer who is 32 years old and has never known a day of real hardship. From me, a 100-year-old woman who gets up every morning, makes her own breakfast, and thanks God for another day on this earth with 2 strong legs underneath her. So if you are over 60 years old, or if you love someone who is, I want you to stay with me, because what I am about to share with you changed the entire trajectory of my later life. And I believe with everything in me that it can change yours too. Let me start with something honest. When I was 67 years old, I was scared. I will not sugarcoat that for you. My husband Harold had passed 2 years before. My knees had started aching something terrible, and I noticed the way I used to hop up from a chair and how I couldn't do that anymore. I noticed how I would hold the wall when I walked down the hallway at night. I noticed how tired my legs felt after just a short walk to the garden and back. And I thought to myself, Eleanor, this is the beginning of the end of your independence. I want you to know that fear is real. If you have felt it, I see you. If you have sat in your chair at night wondering whether next year you will still be able to care for yourself, whether your children will one day have to choose a facility for you, whether your world is slowly getting smaller, I understand that fear with everything I have. It is not weakness to feel it, it is wisdom, because that fear, if you listen to it correctly, will push you toward the right decisions. I listened. My neighbor at the time was a woman named Ruth. Ruth was 81 years old and she moved like she was 50. She gardened, she drove herself to church, and she had calves on her that would make a woman half her age jealous. I asked her one afternoon, sitting on her back porch drinking sweet tea, Ruth, what on earth is your secret? She laughed. She said, Eleanor, it ain't a secret at all. I just feed my body what it actually needs. What followed was a conversation that lasted 3 hours. And over the next several months, I paid attention. I made changes, small ones at first, then bigger ones. And I am standing here today, or rather, sitting in my armchair with my reading glasses on and my feet flat on the floor, telling you that those changes are the reason I am still here, still whole, still free. Let me tell you what I eat, and more importantly, let me tell you why it matters. The first thing Ruth told me about was pumpkin seeds. I thought she was joking. Pumpkin seeds. The things you scoop out of a Halloween pumpkin and throw in the trash. But Ruth told me to start soaking a small handful overnight in water and eating them first thing in the morning. She said they were loaded with magnesium, and that magnesium was what muscles needed to fire properly, including the muscles in your legs, your core, and your lower back. I started doing it. Within 3 weeks, the cramping in my legs at night, which had been waking me up almost every evening for 2 years, almost completely disappeared. I am not exaggerating. I want to be careful here because I am not a doctor and I am not making medical claims. I am just telling you what happened to me. My legs felt more awake, more cooperative, like they were finally getting something they had been asking for. I still eat pumpkin seeds every single morning. I am 100 years old and I still eat my pumpkin seeds. The second thing she told me about was tart cherry juice. Now, I was a woman who had grown up drinking sweet tea and coffee and the occasional glass of lemonade, and the idea of drinking cherry juice every morning felt a little strange to me. But Ruth was insistent. She said the compounds in tart cherry juice, she called them anthocyanins, though she had to spell it out for me, reduced inflammation in the joints and the muscles. She said the research backed it up and that she had been drinking half a glass every morning for 15 years. I started drinking it, sugar-free, no added anything, just the pure tart cherry juice. What I noticed first was that the stiffness I felt every morning when I swung my legs over the side of the bed began to ease up. Getting started in the morning used to feel like coaxing an old engine to turn over, cold, resistant, stubborn. Slowly, that changed. My mornings became easier, and when your mornings are easier, your whole day is different. Your mood is different. Your confidence is different. You stop dreading the moment you have to stand up. Then there was spinach, and I say this as a woman who spent most of her adult life not particularly fond of spinach. Ruth told me that spinach had nitrates in it that improved blood flow to the muscles. Better blood flow meant better oxygen delivery. Better oxygen delivery meant muscles that did not tire as quickly, legs that held you up longer and with less effort. She told me not to overcook it, just wilt it lightly in a pan with a little olive oil and garlic, because heat destroys a lot of what makes it valuable. I started putting spinach in my eggs in the morning, in my soup at lunch, in whatever I was making for dinner. I stopped thinking of it as a side dish and started thinking of it as medicine that happened to taste decent with garlic. That shift in thinking mattered. Everything is about how you think about it. Salmon came next. Wild-caught salmon. Ruth was very clear about that. 2 times a week minimum. The omega-3 fatty acids in it, she said those were what kept the joints from grinding, kept the inflammation down, kept the brain sharp. She told me that the brain and the legs were more connected than most people realized, that when the brain was foggy, balance suffered. When balance suffered, falls happened. And falls, as we all know too well by a certain age, can take everything from you in a single afternoon. I added salmon to my weekly routine. I am not a woman of great means. I was not buying the most expensive cuts, but I found a way to make it work because Ruth helped me understand that this was not an expense. It was an investment in my legs, my balance, my mind, and my freedom. She also told me about lentils, plain, simple lentils. She said they were one of the most underrated foods in America, full of protein, full of iron, affordable, easy to cook, and incredibly filling. She said older adults often did not get enough protein, and that without adequate protein, the body began to break down muscle tissue to fuel itself. That was why so many people in their 70s and 80s looked like they were disappearing. Not because aging was inevitable in that way, but because they were not feeding their muscles what muscles needed to survive. I started making lentil soup every week, sometimes twice a week. It became a ritual, and rituals matter when you are building a new kind of life. Greek yogurt, eggs, and sweet potatoes rounded out what Ruth called her foundational 7. Greek yogurt for the protein and the probiotics, because gut health, she told me, affected everything, including mood, energy, and the body's ability to absorb nutrients. Eggs for the combination of complete protein and vitamin D, which supported bone density and muscle function both, and sweet potatoes for the potassium, which helped prevent leg cramps and kept the muscles hydrated and functioning properly. She showed me how to build a morning plate that hit multiple needs at once: eggs with spinach, a small bowl of Greek yogurt, a glass of tart cherry juice, and a handful of soaked pumpkin seeds. It took 15 minutes to prepare. It cost less than a fast food breakfast, and it was the most powerful thing I could have done for my body at 67 years old. I have been doing a version of that same morning routine for over 30 years. Now I want to stop for a moment because I know that some of you are listening to this and thinking, that sounds good, but I have tried things before and I lost motivation. I started strong and then I fell away from it. What if I cannot stick with it? I hear you. And I want to speak to that directly because I think this is where most advice fails older adults. They give you the what, eat this, don't eat that, but they never give you the why that goes deeper than the physical. Here is what I have learned in 100 years of living. Your body follows your spirit, not the other way around. I did not stay healthy simply because I ate pumpkin seeds and drank cherry juice. I stayed healthy because I made a decision, a sincere daily morning decision to believe that my life still had value, that I was still worth caring for, that God was not finished with me yet, and that the least I could do was show up for whatever He had left for me. Faith is not a passive thing. It is not something you feel on Sunday morning and forget by Tuesday afternoon. Real faith, the kind that sustains a body through grief, through loss, through loneliness, through a world that sometimes makes you feel invisible simply because you are old. That kind of faith is active. It is a practice. It is something you cultivate with the same intention and patience that you cultivate a garden. My garden taught me that. You cannot rush a tomato. You cannot shame a seed into growing faster. You water it. You protect it from frost. You trust the process. And then one morning, when you are not even looking for it, there it is, a small green shoot pushing up through the dark soil, reaching for the light. That is what patience looks like. That is what faith looks like. And that is what caring for your body looks like when you do it with sincerity. I want to talk to you about honesty now, because I think it is one of the most healing things in the world, and also one of the rarest. Be honest with yourself about where you are. If your legs are weak, do not pretend they are not. If you are lonely, admit it, because loneliness is one of the most destructive forces I have ever witnessed in older adults, far more damaging than any food or lack thereof. If you are afraid of becoming a burden, say so. Say it out loud, even if you are only saying it to yourself in the quiet of your own home. Honesty is the beginning of change. You cannot fix what you refuse to acknowledge. And I say this not with judgment, but with deep tenderness, because I have been all of those things at one time or another: afraid, lonely, pretending to be fine when I was not. It was only when I stopped pretending that things began to shift for me. When I sat with Ruth on her porch and admitted, I am scared of losing my independence, that was the beginning of everything that followed. Tell the truth, especially to yourself. It will set something free in you that no supplement or superfood ever could. Now here is the part that I feel most strongly about. The part that I believe in my bones is the piece that most people miss entirely. Find someone to help. I do not mean this in a vague, inspirational sense. I mean it practically, specifically, and urgently. Find someone who needs you. When I was in my 70s, I started cooking extra soup on Sundays, and bringing it to my neighbor across the street, a widower named James, who had stopped eating properly after his wife passed. I did not do it because someone asked me to. I did it because I noticed he was losing weight, and I knew what loneliness and grief could do to a person's appetite. I had been there myself. And what happened to me when I started doing that was extraordinary. I woke up on Sunday mornings with a sense of purpose I had not felt since Harold was alive. I had a reason to make the extra pot of soup. I had a reason to put on my good apron. I had somewhere to walk to and someone who was glad to see me when I got there. Purpose is not a luxury for the elderly. It is a biological necessity. There is real science behind this, and I say that not because I read scientific journals, but because I have watched it happen in human beings my entire life. The people who stayed sharp, who stayed mobile, who stayed joyful into their very late years were almost always people who were in some way serving someone else. They were teaching Sunday school, or mentoring younger women, or dropping off groceries, or calling the sick, or showing up to sit with someone who could not be left alone. They had been given the gift of feeling needed, and the body responds to that gift in remarkable ways. The inflammation goes down, the mind stays clearer, the legs stay stronger because they still have somewhere important to go. Find your James. Find someone who needs that extra pot of soup. Find someone who needs your phone call. Find someone who needs your story, because your story, the one you have lived and survived and grown from, has value that no one else in the world possesses. You are not too old. You are, in fact, exactly the right age. I want to close by coming back to the simple things, because I believe in simplicity. I believe the older we get, the more clearly we can see what actually matters if we are paying attention. Every morning I get up, I swing my legs over the side of the bed, I place my feet flat on the floor, and I sit there for just a moment, and I say thank you. Thank you for another day. Thank you for these legs. Thank you for this house and this life and these 33 years I have had since Ruth sat me down and told me the truth. Then I go to my kitchen. I soak my pumpkin seeds the night before so they are ready. I make my eggs with spinach. I pour my small glass of tart cherry juice. I eat my Greek yogurt, and I sit in my chair by the window and I watch the morning come in, and I feel grateful in a way that goes all the way down to the marrow. I am 100 years old. My legs are strong enough to carry me. My mind is clear enough to sit here and tell you all of this. My heart is full enough that I meant every single word. You are not too far gone. It is not too late. The body is more forgiving and more resilient than we are ever told. Feed it what it needs. Speak to it with kindness. Give it a reason to get up in the morning, not just a destination, but a person who is waiting for you to arrive. Cultivate your faith. Tend it like a garden. Water it with prayer and with stillness and with the willingness to sit in the dark and trust that morning is coming anyway. And then, when you are able, share what you have. Share your food, share your time, share your story. Because when you give yourself away in love, something remarkable happens. You do not run empty. You fill up every single time. I am Eleanor Mae Whitfield. I am 100 years old. I live alone, and I am just fine. I hope that one day you will be able to say the very same thing. If this touched something in you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below telling me and this community one food you are going to add to your morning tomorrow. Just one. That is all it takes to begin. And if you want more of these conversations, real ones, honest ones from someone who has actually walked this road, subscribe so you do not miss a single one. I will be here, Lord willing, same as always.